As soon as you're shut down, I mean, you can try your best to reverse their decision, but the best thing and the best course of action is to work on getting another solution on your cart and start processing elsewhere. So, how to get your business going. So get another account from a third party. So like I mentioned earlier, a third party is like Stripe. So Stripe is a platform where basically they have a master merchant account, and then they have you, for example, as a business owner, as a sub merchant of their master account. So now you're probably saying, well, Maria, why are you telling me to get another account from a third party? Third parties are quick to approve and quick to set up. So obviously getting another solution that's maybe a more direct solution with a merchant account can take some time, a week or so. And you cannot obviously put your ads on hold or put your customers on hold. So your easiest option is to go to PayPal or open another Stripe account if you can. There's some limitations there, but there are a ton of third parties, Shopify payments and so forth, that you can get another account with quickly, get set up, and just keep your business going while you set up another solution. Going into that, reach out to 3 other merchant providers. When I say merchant providers, your best bet, if you got shut down from Stripe, you're probably in what we call a high risk industry. That could be anything from a drop shipper, if you're selling supplements, if you're selling info products, if you have subscriptions. So getting a direct merchant account from a provider like Direct PayNet is your best option, because we understand your business type. We understand the risk. We understand how to get you set up and to make sure that you're set up for the long run. Stripe is, just supports all kinds of businesses, and they let you get going right away. And then what happens is if you start scaling a little bit too quickly, then that gets them nervous and they're quick to shut down. So working with a merchant account provider is going to be your best bet if you've been shut down with Stripe, or even if you just want an alternative to Stripe. Why I say 3 merchant account providers, it really all depends on your business case and your situation. If you have, one application going and that gets declined, it could just make things a lot longer for you, obviously, to get, the right payment solution for you. So I say reach out to 3 merchant account providers. The important thing to make sure is that these merchant account providers are not ultimately going to the same bank. So without getting too complicated here in this discussion, Direct PayNet works with banks in order to get you a merchant account. So you have to make sure that the bank that I would present to you is not the same one as another merchant account provider. So you can have 3 very different options to try to get a solution as quickly as possible. While you're doing that, while you're looking for a provider, prepare what's called an application package. So what I mean by that is, every time you have to apply to get a merchant account or payment processing, there's a couple of things that you always need and a couple of documents. So you might as well just create yourself a folder and have that ready to go. So as soon as you get a pre-approval or a partial green light or an interested merchant account provider, you'll have it all ready and you can kind of get things done a lot quicker. So what you need in your application package is you always need a void check or a bank letter, just confirming your bank account information where the funds would be deposited. You always need your previous processing history. So make sure if Stripe shuts you down, as you're kind of debating with them and so forth, make sure you download your processing history, because that's going to be very important. It's important to understand that CSV files are not accepted. So this has to be an actual statement. So a PDF statement with, a summary of your monthly sales, your chargebacks or disputes and so forth. You'll also need a couple of bank statements. It's good to have 3 on hand. So your last 3 months bank statements and a business info cheat sheet. What I mean by this is if you have a login to a members area, or if you're selling a lot of different products, or if you have monthly packages, it's good to kind of outline that information and just give a brief overview of your business. So when you do approach a merchant account provider or a payment provider, they can actually just look at that info sheet and decide whether they want to support you, and you don't waste your time in, preparing a whole application, signatures, and so forth, if it's not a business model that could be supported. So the cheat sheet should be, no more than a page, but really contain just essential information about what you're selling, how you're selling it, what type of pricing you offer, and where your clients and so forth. My favorite one here is don't worry about the tech stuff. So obviously if you're, for example, you're working with Shopify, you want to make sure that whoever you work with will be able to easily, quickly, plug and play into Shopify or any other cart that you work with. The reason I say don't worry about the tech stuff is very simple, is because there's always a solution. There's a Zap, or there's, a third party plugin or something that can get you to the new provider that you're going to work with. So, don't worry and don't get bogged down about, it's this gateway or that gateway and, the minor details that you're not going to need. Usually just get yourself your merchant account, get approved. And once you get approved, at that point, try to figure out the fastest solution that would get you to plug into your shopping cart. But if that's not possible, then with a very quick research, you can probably find something, a plugin or a Zap that can help you get to where you need to go. Most providers will help out with that, but I'm always happy to also give you guys some tips if you're really stuck and you need something to, I guess, a connector like a Zap or something that can work between your merchant account provider and your shopping cart. If all else fails, when I say if all else fails is, for example, let's say you got banned from Stripe. You're not getting any approvals for your merchant accounts. Maybe you've gone way too high on your chargebacks and there's just nobody willing to approve you. Or maybe, unfortunately, Stripe match lists a lot of merchants. Match is like being put on a blacklist. You definitely don't, you can be shut down, but you definitely don't want to be put on a match list. So if any of those very kind of worst case scenarios happen and you have a profitable business and you want to obviously continue selling your products and, recoup as much as possible, be ready with a licensing agreement. What that means is if you have some affiliates or if you have a potential business partner or venture, you can create a licensing agreement that they can license your technology, license your products, license your content, and resell for you. So, you can perhaps charge them, 80%, or you do some kind of rev share deal. But that's really a last case scenario. But be ready with that because, we do get a lot of queries about this, and merchants sometimes get shut down and get put on a blacklist by Stripe. And then, our hands are tied and there's very little that we can do. So that is one way of thinking about continuing your business if you're really stuck and can't get a payment processor. Hope you found today's session valuable. If you have any questions for me or just want to connect, please feel free to visit my website, mariasparagis.com. That's MariaSparagis.com. I'd love to hear what you're working on, so drop me a line on any hot button issues your business is experiencing. And remember, don't worry about failure. You only have to be right once.